Caroline Collective was started in 2008 as it kind of grew out of a dream for a sort of cross-disciplinary collaborative workspace. I started it with Matthew, my business partner Matthew at the time. He's from a bioengineering background, and I have an architecture background. And we were both very interested in arts and the sort of production of art and getting arts and technology to relate better to each other. The value of having a very broad and diverse audience to sort of put together this kind of project. And the more people from different backgrounds, the better, to influence everybody's work. So the idea was that you sort of create this petri dish and sort of hubbub of sort of activity and energy, and that can sort of, from that can sort of spring these new and different projects.
And how did you get this building? I mean, what's the structure of it?
Yeah, okay, great question. The building is owned by a group of investors. They're friends of ours, and so they were looking for a good tenant. They're interested also in looking for, they're pretty, what's a good word? They like innovative businesses.
They're open-minded.
They're open-minded. They're young enough
and
friendly enough to really be to enjoy some experimentation on the business side. So we've been very fortunate to work with them.
Yeah.
So Matthew and I in 2008 were talking about this project, and at the time it was just an idea. It had no sort of real legs of any kind. So, but we happened to be sort of sitting with one of our friends who was like, we have a space. Do you think you really want to do this? And we said yes immediately. Yeah.
And to get tenants in, was that just word of mouth through friends?
It was actually, Houston was so hungry for a co-working space that before we signed the lease on the space and before we had our first member signed up, the Houston Chronicle had written a full-page feature article on me and Matthew and Caroline Collective. So we were inundated immediately with demand and sort of tenants basically. But it's we don't have a kind of marketing budget. All of our quote advertising comes through word of mouth. We use a lot of social media. We rely on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Gmail, all this stuff. And we have a very strong community of supporters that help us to push that out. Geoff is the guy behind that initiative for the most part.
Animal architecture.
Animal architecture, So animal architecture is it's really a passion of mine. It was started roughly around the same time. I just finished school at Rice. And my work at Rice for my master's degree in architecture was looking at incorporating biology and ecology in a very active way into design, looking at sort of redefining the architect more as, I don't know, I mean, I always talked about as sort of farmer in a way, I mean, that sort of as an agent that activates a kind of ecology and sort of shape a sort of system, a very sort of holistic sense of system. And so Animal Architecture is a website that tries to just have this conversation in the public way. It just needed a broader audience. And so I needed to expand my audience. And that was the impetus for the website. So it's been up for about 3 years. And we focus on projects that actively engage a non-human architecture community. While we're reading these books, we aren't really listening to it in a very, actually I wanted to take it quite literally, like very literally engaging animals in a new way. Where it seemed that most architects, or at least the architects I was bumping into at Rice, thought it was somehow metaphorical or sort of, just kind of a generally good idea, but had no idea how to do it. And I thought, well, why don't we just take this seriously? Really at all, it's more about getting sort of humans, human animals and non-human animals to sort of understand how to sort of share our resources. It's a very collaborative kind of drive or desire that we all have different ways of viewing and interacting with the world. That maybe, as resources get more scarce or, as different sort of ecological events happen in, sort of stress systems, that there are potential ways for us to sort of help each other.